Hey guys, it's Bob with JohnyTechReview and I hope you guys are all doing well. So today's topic of discussion is this SuperEQ S1. This is a pair of headphones that's being sent to me by this company and I had it for about 3 weeks now. Been using it a little bit and I want to give you guys my thought and feelings on it. So the box it comes is pretty simple, colorful box like this. Inside you have some user menu, some instruction, pretty simple stuff. So inside you have a few cables. It's a micro USB charger. This is not USB-C. So you have a 3.5mm headphone cable plus a little adapter that you use in the airplane. I think these are pretty outdated. No one's really using these anymore. So then you have the headphone themselves. So the headphones is pretty lightweighted. Feel pretty good in the hand, and it is made out of these bonded leather, which is basically fake leathers. The ear cups are pretty good size. On inside them you can see they are labeled left and right, so you can really see that. They also fold in like this, so from a carry perspective it's really small. It also comes in a little bag like this, and here it says SuperEQ, and in the back they put like just 24 free month warranty. To me that's kind of annoying. So first I want to cover a little bit about headphone. This is a Bluetooth 5.0 headphone. It does have active noise cancellation, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. But other than that, it's a pretty simple headphone with some buttons at the bottom. They're a real button that you have to press. You also have the ability to add in a 3.5mm headphone cable if you want to use that in a typical fashion. The slogan seems to be young and be free, and you see that written on the headphone but also on the box. So comfort wise, these headphones are okay. For my head, kind of have the big head, but you put it on my head, look like this. Feel pretty comfortable, and the ear cup themselves have a pretty good clamp. At first these headbands were really strong, so I put them on a headphone stand for a while, and that kind of expanded them a little bit, and yeah, that got a little bit better. They do twist pretty well. I haven't break them or anything like that. So for me, it does get kind of fatigued, so after about 30-40 minutes it feels a little bit of a pinch in my head. So I typically had to take them off, but it definitely helped after I stressed these out, and they were a lot better. So next I want to talk a little bit about the sound quality on these headphones. Disclaimer, for me most of the time I'm using either Apple Music or I am using something on YouTube. I used to use Spotify, but lately I've been using a lot of Apple Music. I typically listen to the Billboard Top 40s, acoustic music, sometimes classical. In general impression, these headphones sound pretty good. For these, the bass sounds really good, and they have really deep bass. When you put them on, they have pretty good clamp force, so that produces a nice little seal, and you get really good bass out of these. Sometimes I feel like the bass hit pretty hard, and it's kind of hurting your ear, maybe because of the pressure of it. I would say the mid-range is a little bit warm for me. I think that's good for stuff like jazz and some acoustic music, but for me it was a little bit too warm, and which lead into the highs. The highs are not as crispy as what I would like, so it's a little bit more, I would say, muted. It's not like clean and crispy like many other headphones. Maybe I'm also used to a lot of open back headphones, so I'm kind of used to that. But even on my closed back, my M50 over there, those sounds were pretty crispy. So these to me are not as crispy. So what I just mentioned there is just music without the active noise cancellation on. So when you turn the active noise cancellation on, which is a button down here that you can press, you have 3 different modes. You can switch between the off, on, and then pass through. The instruction is pretty simple. There's just a button you just press and it switch between the 3 of them. So when you have them on the on mode, I couldn't really tell that much of a difference, other than the fact that there's a small improvement on canceling the noise. So music, with music playing kind of loud, there wasn't that much different for me, so I didn't see that much of a difference. When you turn it on transparency mode, where you can hear more of the outside, it looked like it was more amplified, so it doesn't work that well compared to something like AirPods, where the transparency sound very clear, right? This is not that clear. So for me, I would either prefer, if you need the noise cancellation, you would leave it on. Otherwise, I would just leave it off in general. Speaking of noise cancellation, does it work? Yeah. In a room like this, my fan is running right now. Microphone is probably not picking it up, but in general, put this on and I cannot hear that fan running. If I have a small fan over there that's running and I put this on, that cancels out the noise. Does it work when my kids are screaming? No, it doesn't. If they're screaming, you can still hear them, but it does cancel out a lot of noise. One thing that I found a problem with this headphone is that because it was made out of plastic and a couple are all about plastic, when you're wearing it and you are moving around, you're touching it and stuff, you can actually hear that kind of translate to it, and the noise cancellation didn't really help with that. One of the other thing I like to point out is also, since these has microphone, you can obviously use them to make phone call. I tested that with my wife, and actually it was pretty decent compared to some of the earbuds that I have. These actually pick up my voice really good. So you know, you can use these to walk outside and you know, other people around. There's no really noise cancellation for that, but in general the other party can hear me well, and I didn't have any issues though. So the last thing I want to cover on these is the battery life. So they have a pretty impressive on paper battery life. It's range from 30 to 50 hours, depends on if you have Bluetooth on or off, and depending on your volume level obviously. For me, in my experience, since I mostly use it with the active noise cancellation off, I say I'm getting probably, you know, more than 30 plus hours. I remember charging it once in the first week that I got it, and I have used it since then, and I look at my battery meter on my iPhone and it's still more than half the batteries. So what do I think about these? Well, in general, I think compared to some of the other, you know, 30, 40, 50 buck headphones, these are pretty good. So what makes these stand out is that the bass are pretty strong on these. So if you enjoy, you know, R&B, you know, EDM, dance music, these are going to be great for you. If closed back headphone or, you know, these kind of cup kind of headphone cause uncomfortable for you, these might be a problem because they get kind of warm. But you know, once you kind of losing the tension on them by wearing them a little bit, it definitely helps. You know, for other people that might not be a problem, but for me, I typically like open back with really big cup headphones. So these to me are, you know, a little bit not as comfortable as I like. Don't get me wrong, the ear pads are pretty comfortable. It just, you know, these kind of styles are kind of tough for me. So before I finish editing the video, the company sent out an email and they were talking about a promotion for this for Black Friday. So on November 26th, during the whole course of the day, they'll have a little bit of a sale. So the current price is about $63 and it will be reduced to about $43 to $44, depends on the color that you pick. So please take a look at the link in the description below, and on that day there should be a sale on it. You don't have to use any coupon code or anything like that. Alright guys, that is my quick review of the SuperEQ S1. They do make other versions like the S2, and they also make earbuds, but this was the one that I saw that was kind of cool with the color design between black and red. So when they asked me, I was like, send me this one, I'll give it a try. So guys, I hope that helped you. If you have any question, please feel free to leave it in a comment down below. I'll try to answer them. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumb up and subscribe for more future content. Thank you.